Hey, this is Karen. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn to draw a sun on watercolor paper with pencil. Then we're going to go over it with marker and then paint it. This is the first video in a series of 3 videos. Make sure you catch all 3. The first one's going to be just drawing. The second video, we are going to learn how to mix and come up with great fun colors for our watercolor painting. And then the third painting, we are going to actually do it with limited colors. I don't know if you've ever done anything with limited colors, limited palette. So the third video will have the limited palette. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the next drawing lessons. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hey guys, I'm back again with another lesson. And this is what we're going to be drawing and painting today. If you missed the last lesson that I had for you, it was for beginners, and we did this drawing right here, and then we we drew it on watercolor paper, and then we painted it. That was practice, or it's for beginners. So now we're going to take it to the next level, and I'm going to show you some of the other artists or some of the other drawings. This is now we're going to do the sun drawing today. We're going to draw it in pencil, then we're going to go over it in black marker, and then we're going to paint it with our watercolor paints. But I wanted to show you a variation of what we are painting and drawing today. And then I wanted to show you maybe another artist and what they did. It's a little different than what I just showed you. And then also, here is another version. This version is different than the first version. This version basically used all the watercolor paints that we have. We did them any color we wanted. It was just free for all, whatever you want to do. This painting is different. Something that a lot of designers do is they have a color scheme that they use. And this is basically how I created this. I found a color scheme, and I stuck to the color scheme, and I only did a few colors instead of everything in the rainbow. So that is another lesson it's more advanced, but I did save you the video for that. That is after this video. Another example of something that's more advanced. The other drawings and everything were more simple, very simple. It didn't have a lot of patterns in it or anything. But here is an advanced student of mine created this and actually gifted it to me because I loved it so much. It was so fun. The sun became a guy with, a hat, and there's even bubbles coming up over here, which I thought was very creative. Very, very creative. We have a candy cane. We did this project right after Christmas. I think that's why she put the candy cane in there. It's kind of fun. So at this time, we have a blank sheet of paper. I want you to get a pencil. If you want to use an eraser, you can. We're going to freehand all of this. You got to figure out how large you want the circle to be. I mean, you want him to be pretty big. So we're going to start out with a circle, and we're going to draw a circle. And I'm kind of off-centered, but that's okay. Just to let you, remember that this was off-centered also. Okay, so it's off-centered, and then we're going to create a border around our circle. So we're going to start at the top, and we're going to create a a vertical line that goes straight down. And then another vertical line on the other side that goes straight down. Doesn't have to be perfect. Art doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to start over here and at the top, and we're going to do a horizontal line. Now, we've talked about all different types of lines. That was in your practice sheets and in the beginner lesson. So we've already covered all of that for this lesson. And if you haven't watched those other videos, please go back and watch the videos. It's really good to practice all of the different lines and everything. the zigzag lines and the curvy lines and the swirl lines. You know, it's very good to go back and practice. The more you practice, the better you get. Okay, and so then we're going to go in and we're going to start putting some design in. I'm going to do some curly cues in the corner like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is we are going to divide up everything so you make sure that you have a lot of different varieties of lines. So like this section, you want to have different lines than this section. So let's say here we're going to just do some lines. Kind of, they look kind of like petals. They kind of go out like that. And maybe do another one there, and then maybe do another one there. And then we want to go in and choose something different. So I'm going to do zigzag lines that go down, and then I'm going to follow my zigzag line so it sort of looks almost like a lightning bolt. And maybe I do another one that's a little different, but it's still a zigzag line like that. And then maybe I want to do just wavy lines. You know, a sun sort of, when you look at the sun looks like it has wavy lines. And that has to do with the heat that's coming off of it. Okay, let's see, what else can we do? Let's do some lines that go out and curl around. Now, if you did all of your practice sheets, then you should have lots of things to look at. So, like I said, if you did your practice sheet for Zentangle, you have all kinds of patterns and ideas to use to create your sun. Let's see, what else can we do? So I'm going to create some more of these petal-like shapes because I'm going to go in and create Zentangle inside of them. Once I get the marker, once I have a base of what I'm doing, then we'll go in with markers and fill in and have some fun with our Zentangle. Alright, something else we can do is I'm going to go in and create a line that divides up my borders. Remember, we created this border like that. Well, we could add like maybe a couple of heart shape. Yeah, because then we can add all kinds of decoration from the heart shape. I'm going to do some more of these.
We want to go in and add designs until we fill up the background.
So now we're going to do the inside and create the face. So what you're going to do is we're going to put the nose in the middle, which is a line that goes straight down and another line that goes straight down. And then we're going to do a V at the bottom. And then we're going to start at the top and we're going to do a line that curves out and another line that curves out. And then we're going to put some eyes on this guy. Let's see, we're going to put, let's do some eyes. We're just going to do like these almond shape eyes. And make sure we put an eye, make sure you have an eyeball in there. Do another almond shape eye. Then to start the mouth, you already have a V. We're going to drop down below and we're going to create another V just like that. And then we're going to take it and we're going to curve out and make a curl like that. We're going to do the same on the other side. Go around and make a curl. And then we're going to find where we want the bottom half to go. And we're just going to add the bottom lip and then we're going to divide that in half. And there's the face. And now we can go in and create all kinds of other ideas, like maybe curls for the cheeks. And how about, well, we can do the rest with, let's get to the marker. I'm using a Sharpie marker, and the reason why is you want to use a permanent marker because then we're going to use watercolor paint and paint on top of it. So we got to make sure we have a permanent marker. All right. So I'm using the large tip instead of the small tip. I'm going to do the majority of it with the large tip. And it's still called a fine tip, which is really funny. But anyway. And then we can go back with the small tip and do more details. So let's just start with the nose. And you are basically just going to trace over all of these lines that you have already created. And if you don't make it exact, that's okay, because it's pencil. We can go back and erase the pencil lines before we paint. Something that I didn't do was I was going to put like a shadow on this side or on that side. I guess it doesn't matter which side, but I'm going to do it on this side. So I'm going to go around with the marker like that. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to make a line that goes like that, that basically is going to show like maybe a shadow, and I'm going to put some lines in it.
Don't miss another video. Subscribe today.
Just like that. Okay, and then when we're doing the marker, the things that you need to do first are the sun. And then once the sun's done, then you do the borders. And the reason why is because you want the sun to be on top of the border. So we're going to do all of this ink work. We're going to ink all this in first. I'm a designer, I'm an illustrator, and this is how illustrators work. They usually do a pencil drawing first, and then once they do a pencil drawing, then they go back and ink everything in. You know, I don't know if you read comic books, but that's the way comic books are done also. Everything's done in pencil first, and then they work out everything they need to work out in pencil, and then they go back and ink in the comic book. And like I said, it's okay if you don't get all of the lines perfect, because remember, you can go back with an eraser, which is something we're going to do. We're going to go back and erase all of the pencil lines. And when I draw and paint, many times, I spin my paper around. It's so much easier to draw. Like if I'm drawing from top to bottom, it's so much easier for me to draw from top to bottom and spin my paper around than trying to keep my paper straight all the time and make my hand do something that it doesn't want to do. This is always so much fun. I love this. This is one of my favorite projects, and it's funny because the kids that I've taught these projects, oh my gosh, all the crazy things they've come up with, all the ideas, and I encourage you. You don't have to do exactly what I do. Can you come up with something different? I would love to see you do something different. This is just what I'm doing. And I love these curly Q things, so I'll probably put some extra ones in. Alright, how am I do? I do hearts this way. All right, so now that I've done all of that, I'm going to go in and do the borders. Because see, this I want on top, so I'm going to skip over. See how I'm doing this? I'm not going all the way through. I'm going to skip over, make sure this is on top of the background. Do you see how that turned out? So yeah, you're not going to go through there. You got to go over it. You got to skip over and go to the other side, and then you're going to skip over that one and go to the next one. You got to skip over. Make sure that you skip over so your design is on top of the background. So if it's a straight line, it doesn't matter as much because you're not filling that in. Do you see what I'm saying? See how that, but if there is a section that you don't want the background to go through, you got to make sure you skip over it. Like right here, I'm going to skip over this. Like that. Now I'm dividing up the border a little bit so then it can be two different colors. I love color and I love to have lots of color, so that's what I'm doing. Just like that. So at this time, I usually get a big eraser. Now I recommend using a white eraser. I use the Mars plastic eraser, and the reason why. If you use an eraser that is pink, sometimes when you start erasing, it comes off on here pink. The other thing is, you can see that I've used the eraser and I have color on here. Well, I don't want that to come off on my paper, so I usually have, you know, an extra page somewhere, just any kind of white piece of paper to kind of make sure that I get all the paint or anything that might come off on my page. I use that to kind of clean my eraser, and then it's ready to go. So I'm going to go in and erase all my pencil lines. I have to be careful not to wrinkle your page. Now make sure you get all the crummies off of your, see all the little crummies from this? You got to make sure you get them all off before we paint.